Good morning, good morning, good morning, and once again, good morning to the One Celtic fans few. First message up, look at that. Roll on Sunday, roll on Saturday, should I say, roll on Saturday. Perhaps we should have went to George Square for the 5 in a row. That'd have been great, but George Square's currently all boarded up, isn't it? Well, Meltdown has been amazing. It has been absolutely fantastic, the meltdown in Scottish football. But I'm going to let you listen to an ex-Celtic player first of all, because there's an ex-Celtic player that has been absolutely fantastic meltdown in Scotland. An ex-Celtic player who has had his say on the striker's position at Celtic. Now, I'm going to say fair play to Stilian Petrov because he knows a player or two. He played along beside Henrik Larsson on the strikers. And listen, if you've played alongside Henrik Larsson, you know what it takes to be a striker at Celtic, don't you? Making hump day that much sweeter. Yes, it's the hump of the week, so happy hump day to everybody. And if you take that another way, that's your own issue. But anyway, let's listen to a little bit of Stilian Petrov. Make sure we've got all the audio correct to hear what... That's not Stilian Petrov. This is Stilian Petrov. Double check that. Yeah, let's listen to Stilian Petrov and see what he has to say about the striker situation at Celtic.
Callum McGregor still there, but you're losing some key assets as well. There's going to be interest in other players. We've seen it today against Spurs linked with Benjamin Nigren. This is huge, isn't it?
Yeah, it's huge. That's why I mean when you appoint a new manager, you have to understand where the club stands, what's the situation with the players, with the key players, the players that makes the difference in for the season and the big games as well. And he has to agree to, come to the club, and they have to sign players. Dyson Maeda, I mean, what a player! What a player!
What a finish to the season.
It's a great finish to the season, and they needed that. They needed somebody to inspire Celtic with goals, with the performances, and he has definitely done that. Iheanacho, I'll tell you what people talk about his movements and his mobility, but I think he has made a lot of difference in a lot of games in the last stage.
So you'd bring him back?
Season. Who, Iheanacho?
Yeah.
Sorry, no.
Yeah. No.
No. Unfortunately, no. You need a striker who can compete all season, who's fit all season, who's...
Wow. Tell me in the comment section, do you agree? I'm going to listen to the rest of the interview with Stan the Man, Stilian Petrov. Do you agree with Stilian? Would you not bring back Iheanacho next season? Controversial, it may be. Don't know. He has only played about quarter of a season for Celtic, but would you bring him back? He does have that option. Celtic do have the option of giving him another year. He was brought in under Brendan Rodgers, kind of last minute. He was allowed to leave his club in Spain. They ripped up his contract to allow him to come to Celtic. Do you think that Celtic should keep Iheanacho next season, or do you think that it should look elsewhere?
Ready, who's mobile. You know what? He's done so well, and for me, with what Celtic stands for, they have to go for something different, something more powerful, speed, mobility, and that's the way he is. Unfortunately, in big clubs, that's the way he is. You have to go for what you think is right for the club. And for me, I don't think Iheanacho it is the answer for the future.
Okay, just a couple of other things, Stilian. Obviously, we've got to talk about, the post-match scenes were not ideal. Nobody wants to see stuff like that. I heard Martin O'Neill talking about it today. I'll maybe come back to that. But, he says he wants to see them again. He wants to properly look before he comments more now. But it didn't look good. It wasn't a great way to end the season, of course.
Bugger off, honestly. The narrative, the hypocrisy of some of these people. And especially when you've seen, there is on the community tab, a picture of Derek McInnes during a pitch invasion that he participated in. Yes, Derek McInnes participating as a manager in the pitch invasion. Never said nothing about that, did he? Anyway, move on from that. Let's jump into what you're saying about Kelechi Iheanacho. Give him another year. Give Kelechi another year. I disagree with Stan. We need the guy we can bring off the bench on critical moments when required. I think what he's meaning is if one else in. It's not a case of get rid of them altogether. When you look at the players that we have in the squad, and any actual will get game time this weekend, you know, and this game, the game this weekend, it's paramount to the way that Celtic go into the summer, and it's also it would be disappointing if we lost, but it would be fantastic for Dunfermline and Neil Lennon if we did win. So, look, is there a part of us that really that really wants Celtic to lose this, and Dunfermline to win? We know the permutations of European football for certain other football clubs, if that was to be the case. it would be it would be the only time that Celtic fans may lose a final and actually be happy and laughing at the same time about it. I mean, they would be disappointed about Martin O'Neill losing the final, but I think that disheartenness would last for about 5 minutes, and then the joy for Dunfermline and Neil Lennon, because they would know at that point. The Rangers would be playing in the Conference League on the bottom. But you know, the thing is they would probably do quite well and go quite far in that competition. Anyway, before we start talking about Iheanacho again, I want to just give you a little bit of an update on whom the referee is. Oh, well, I'm over that side. Look at that. I've been switched sides by the power of anyway, Stephen McLean. Stephen McLean is the referee for the weekend. Frank Connor is on the line. Also is Scott Anderson, and then on VAR you have Matthew McDermott and Gary Hilland. They will say that is a very Celtic motivated. Yeah, they will say that that's just to allow us to win the cup final, isn't it? I don't care. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, Scottish Cup final this weekend. Right, let's get back to the big sort of talking point that we're talking about. Kelechi Iheanacho. Kelechi Iheanacho, I'm going to give. I disagree with Stan the Man. We need the guy we can bring off the bench on critical moments when required. Isn't Callum Osmond that player to bring off the bench? Do you know what we will lose? And do Celtic spend the 7 million for Tam the checked out, or do we say no to Tam the check? Do we say, Krells, you're an all right player, you're a good lad, you're a bit psycho, and you know you've done well, but you were injured too long, and the next manager may not like him. Should the decision be left until the next manager comes in? That's maybe the conversation that we should be happening. It should be happening. Do you know? It should be up to the next manager. And I've got to say, the picture there's a still photo. That's not. It's from the. I'm going to put this full screen because Martin O'Neill, at training yesterday, when the boys came back. Martin O'Neill there. He's just as cool as he's just. Do you know what? See, when I'm 74, I want to be that. I want to be as cool as Martin O'Neill. I do. I just want to. He's just standing there, and he's enjoying life, isn't he? Completely enjoying life. We'll jump into that video in a minute, and go through some still images so that Celtic can't do us for copyright, and we'll look at some of the exciting young talent that has returned to training at Celtic. But back to Kelechi Iheanacho. He is a player that divides opinion. Let's just get some more of your comments this morning. Given another year, he deserves it. He dug us out a good few times. The audio's cut. Oh, the audio's not cut. I'm listening to it now. You're at it this morning. The audio's cut. Oh, the audio's. So you're talking shite. I ain't listening to
not
myself. You're just doing that to wind me up this morning. I'm going to get loads of comments there. Audio's cut. That was a brilliant wee cartoon you posted yesterday. Yes. Anyway, if the manager plays two up front, we might need to keep big Kells. Yeah. If the... I think it all depends on who the next manager is, isn't it? I mean, we shouldn't jump the gun and say to collect Iheanacho straight after the end of the season that he's not going to be here next season. I mean, he will know the situation. He will know that he'll have to have talks with Celtic. He will know that Martin O'Neill, if it transpires that Martin O'Neill is not here after the Scottish Cup final, Kells sits down with Celtic and he will know that it comes down to the next manager. When you look at the players that we do have in the team that play in that position, you've got to say young Callum Osmond is a fantastic player for the future. Do you know, he feels like a champion. He feels, I mean, the interview that he did yesterday speaks volumes of him as a player going forward. I think that he is... There'll be a lot of people now looking at Callum Osmond and saying, I wonder what... And you've got to remember, Callum Osmond is only at Celtic because Daniel Cummins decided that he wasn't going to get a shot at the title of the say. Do you know what I mean? He was of the thinking, I'm not going to get enough first team football. Look at Callum Osmond. But anyway, when you look at the players that we do have in the team in the striker options, Tamdachek came in, served us well. Is he the man to take us forward next season? Personally, I do not think so. Will Celtic take up that option to buy for 7 million? I don't think he's worth 7 million, I'm going to be honest. If people say that Adam Ida wasn't worth 9 million, there is absolutely no way that Thomas is worth 7 million. We sold Adam Ida for 6 million. Adam Ida was a better striker, in my opinion. And goals will tell you the stats. The stats for Adam Ida, I know that he didn't finish out the season, Big Thomas, but Adam Ida's goals when he came in on loan and he's managed to stay fully fit, there was very limited time not on the bench due to the fact that he was injured. He was there almost the full season, wasn't he, when he came the next season. But in the first half of a season that he was there, he scored 9 goals. Tamdachek was way off that. And that's the comparison that we have to take. You know, you've got to look at Adam Ida. A lot of people didn't like him, and it's fair enough. They chased him out the door. He would have loved to have stayed at the club, but it's not to be. Tamdachek, Iheanacho came in as the replacement. Iheanacho has been man down, missing all season. We've had to rely on Dyson Maeda as the main striker. Young Callum Osmond came on. He was going to come through, but he got injured. It's been unfortunate for him. So we're going into the summer. We're going to lose Dyson Maeda. It's guaranteed. That's a stick on. If we manage to retain the services of Dyson Maeda, there will be a miracle worker somewhere working in Celtic Park. But I don't even think that even if the Japanese international team manager was to get the Celtic job, that Dyson Maeda would stay in the summer. So you're looking at the situation where we have one recognised striker on the first day of training, and that's young Callum Osmond. The pressure should not be put on Callum Osmond to be the number 1 striker next season. The exact same sorry, you've got Johnny Kenny as well. Pardon me. We'll have Johnny Kenny. So I thought I'd better add that in because I just realised that he's out on loan, isn't he? So you're going to have 2 registered strikers, Johnny Kenny and young Callum Osmond. Now, neither are first choice striker at this moment. Johnny Kenny's went away out and he's went on loan and he's had a fantastic time down in Bolton. It'll be interesting to see if there's a bid comes in for Johnny Kenny in the summer. Will Celtic accept it? They turned it down last summer, 500,000. What is the valuation of Johnny Kenny now? A lot of Celtic fans would love to see the back of Johnny Kenny. If Johnny Kenny was to leave Celtic and he goes on to be a goal-scoring just phenomenon, we might have egg on our faces. He's a striker that was said at Celtic by the previous manager that really need to. He could score from anywhere. He could score with anything. Give him the ball on the edge of the box and he'll score. Callum Osman could be that person, but we need a big striker. We need a fast striker. I don't think that Callum Osman comes into that energy space just yet. He doesn't have the experience to be a number one striker at Celtic. He's definitely got the enthusiasm, the young Welsh lad, and I'd love nothing more for another Welshman to have a fantastic career at Celtic, just like Big John Hartson, who the last time, I met him this time last year, and I'm standing in between. Hartson was this side of me and Sutton was that side, and I'm like, shout at you. A midget. I was there like a midget. I'm about the same size as Bruni and Callum McGregor. So it's, yeah. But they were big lads and you can understand. So Daniel Cummins is heading to the Championship now, but who cares for him really? Tam the Bam. Big Tam is shite. Sen Hen Brun Haim. He's rank. Hello, St. Martin. He'll be ready for pre-season. Tam the Czechs, injuries changed things. Kelechi's done well as an impact striker on the bench, but we need pace up front if Maeda goes. And Tan the Czech is not a prolific goal scorer. And this is the conversation that we need to have as fans. Is Kel's a number one striker? And I don't think he is. I mean, people saying that we need an impact striker. I think that we've got two fantastic impact strikers that are younger. People say that Johnny Kenny's not good enough for Celtic. Is he as bad as Callum Osman? Is he better than Callum Osman? The good thing is we've got two young strikers at Celtic that can get better. Kelechi Iheanacho's kind of at the other end of his career, when the barometer, isn't he? Where he told Martin, you've got to remember that Kelechi Iheanacho, Martin O'Neill said that he asked Kelechi Iheanacho how he felt about where he was at this stage of his career. Because Martin O'Neill said, you should be at the pinnacle of your performance. You should be coming on to the top of your game at your age. And he turned it around to Martin. He says he feels as if he's there. And Martin O'Neill went, like that. He was a bit. I don't think that Martin O'Neill would keep him. If Martin O'Neill was the manager next year, as good as Kelechi Iheanacho's been, I think that Martin O'Neill would want to go out and get a different striker. That's just my opinion. Let's get some of yours. Big Tam needs to be more like Sutton, hold the belt, use his height at corners and free kicks. Talking getting rid of Kells is crazy talk. He's free, he's committed, he scores big goals. Do you realise how hard this is to replace today? Honestly, crazy talk. Well, it wasn't me that spoke about it. It was an ex-Celtic player, and Stan Petrov. And it was Stan Petrov that said it. So I think that Stan Petrov knows a thing or two about players to play for Celtic. And the reasoning that Stan Petrov gave, I'm going to say it, I'm kind of with Petrov. Let's go back to the beginning of it and just listen to it again. Let's just see, where is it? Right, here it is. Them talking about Iheanacho.
It's a great finish of the season, and they needed that. They needed somebody to inspire Celtic with goals, with the performances, and he has definitely done that. Iheanacho, I'll tell you what. You know what, people talk about his movements and his mobility, but I think he has made a lot of difference in a lot of games in the last stage.
So you'd bring him back?
Season. Who? Iheanacho?
Yeah.
Sorry, no.
Yeah. No.
No. Unfortunately, no. You need a striker who can compete all season, who's fit all season, who's ready, who's mobile. You know what? He's done so well, and for me, with what Celtic stands for, they have to go for something different, something more powerful, speed, mobility, and that's the way it is. Unfortunately, in big clubs, that's the way it is. You have to go for what you think is right for the club. And for me, I don't think Iheanacho it is the answer for the future.
There we go. He doesn't think he is the answer for the future, and I've got to say, you can understand why. You know, it's fine saying that it's crazy talk and getting rid of him, but you have to look at any actual stats over the course of the season. Now, if I change screens, I can get any actual up. Wait 2 seconds. We'll get any actuals stats. I should have them on this. All players in database. Do we have them? Yeah, we do. There we go. Showing that, and then if I do this by the powers of fantastic TV, do this and then edit this, we should be able to get the players' stats up. And this one. There we go. Just get rid of this, and then Kelechi Iheanacho. His goal scoring record hasn't been phenomenal, has it? I mean, this season he scored 6 goals for Celtic, and the previous season he scored 3 goals for Seville, 1 for Middlesbrough. The previous season, 6 goals for Leicester, 1 for Nigeria. The season before, 8 goals for Leicester, 10 for Nigeria. The season before that, 7 goals for Leicester and 1 goal for Nigeria. It's not prolific goal scoring material, is it? It's not someone that's going to make the difference. Is that because he has been injured a lot? Petrov will know more than me. I've never really watched any of the teams that he's been at before. Do you think that that's maybe why Stan Petrov is thinking, no, Celtic need to go for somebody that's fit all season, more mobile, etc., etc., etc. It's an interesting one. Do you know, it's I mean, he's only coming up for 30-year-olds, just 29-year-olds, so he's got a few years left in him. But for the fact that he should be at the pinnacle of his career, that he should be, you know, in the best form of his life, you know, there are younger and other strikers out there, and the fact that we got him for free kind of tells you a lot as well. Don't know if he couldn't do the job for Seville, and they wanted him off the books, they wanted shot of him, you know. So it's one that will make some interesting comments this morning. Tam isn't good enough, nowhere near, along with many others. We need another grit type player, small, fast, agile. I think that we've got that in Callum Osmond. Where did you get this information? Says Patrick. Well, we've just listened to it. It was we just listened to him. Tam needs to go. We need a reset this summer. 29 Iheanacho. Yep, it's up there. 29 in 7 months. I'm going to jump through to the later end of the comments. Without Kells, we don't win the league and the cup. I'm not, but I don't think even Stan Petrov did not. He praised. Yeah, he did praise Kelechi Iheanacho. But looking forward, you know, at big clubs, if you're a striker, here's the crazy thought then. A lot of you wanted rid of Adam Idah. Adam Idah scored 9 goals in half a season. He scored 29 goals in a season and a half for Celtic. Kelechi Iheanacho's only scored 6 goals. Now people will say, well, maybe if he stays fit, he'll score more. Well, it's a big maybe and if, isn't it? There was no maybes and ifs when it came to Adam Idah. Adam Idah scored the goals. If Kelechi Iheanacho has had a career that's maybe littered with injury season after season for 4 or 5 games or whatever, You've then got to, I've got to then go on the side of Stan Petrov, who said, "No, Celtic need to move on. They need someone that can play a full season." And then you never know. Kelechi Iheanacho may stay fit and may play a whole season next year. But then we're then looking for another striker the season after that. It's not kind of long-term planning, and we're hoping that the next manager that comes in has a kind of long-term plan that solidifies a team, builds a team around certain players. Is Kelechi Iheanacho a player for the next 2 or 3 years? 29-year-old, people are giving Callum McGregor stick at 32. Kelechi Iheanacho's not really got the pace that's required, and that's what Stan Petrov is talking about. He doesn't really have the pace. Is this Celtic's worst team to win the league and title? Yes, most definitely. People will say, and I wouldn't say the players are bad. But when you look at the point, the goals don't lie. The goals for and against, and I am still amazed that we won the league after losing so many games. I don't think I've ever seen a team win the league that's lost so many games in Scotland. It's completely bizarre. But is it the worst team to win a league title? Celtic's worst team? I think so. I want to sign Sirachi and Arrojo if possible. That would give us great cover at the full-back positions. Adam Ida's first touch not good enough. Bad teams don't win titles. Caspar Ho from Bodo Glint. He's one that's been mentioned, as has the young boy Just from Motherwell. Folk haven't seen any actual scoring in EPL. La Liga maybe that's the difference. But his goal scoring exploits in La Liga, 3 goals. 3 goals. It's not. He's not got the form, has he? I mean, the form speaks for itself. It's not up there. Levels dropped off, yes, and I think the do you know what, with the players' levels having dropped, the expectation levels of the fans has maybe dropped slightly as well. We're maybe now looking at players that would never be given a chance if we had a prolific goal scorer. If we had a here's the thought: if we had a fully fit Kyogo Furiashi still at Celtic, banging in 20, 30 goals a season, a Lee Griffiths at Celtic doing similar, Kelechi Iheanacho would not get near the team. And that's what we're talking about. We're talking about bringing in a prolific striker to be the number 1 striker. Are we saying that Kelechi Iheanacho is the number 1 striker for Celtic going into next season? Is he the man that you want to? Is he the first name on the team sheet as striker? Maybe that should be the question that we're asking. And if it's not, and if he's not, you then look at another striker. It's all about creating people just talking and having their say. Nobody had won a league match after losing 8 games. Yes, I was very well aware of that well before the end of the season, and it was absolutely brilliant. We haven't had a convincing 90 minutes. That is the reality. Start building for Europe as soon as possible. Get in a main striker and keep Kells, and I think in young Osmond will step up next year. I don't think that... What if a manager comes in and... What if a manager comes in and says, I want 4 strikers because I want to play 2 strikers? Do you then keep Kells on the books? Or do you keep the younger 2? Do you go out and get Tam the Czech? Do you keep Kells? Do you go out and spend money on a prolific striker? We've seen what Tam the Czech can do, and I don't think that he is nowhere near what we would say would be a prolific striker for us. I don't think striker's his best position, to be honest. I think it's more as a winger would be his better position. Maybe that is. We need to give Osmond the opportunity up front. Yes, that will happen, Tommy, but I don't think that putting the pressure on him as a number 1 striker. We're talking about the first name on the team sheet every single week. A good manager will not put young Osmond under that pressure. We did it with Johnny Kenny last season, and the fans got on the back of Johnny Kenny. That pressure told on Johnny Kenny. I think that we need to bring in someone that has a bit of experience in scoring goals, has played in European football, has maybe a couple of years older than these lads, maybe not the age of Iheanacho, maybe not 27, maybe around about the sort of 25 age bracket, that has a little bit of experience that we can buy in, that has the potential to be even better. And I think that that's where we stand just now. I don't think that Iheanacho can improve as a player. And I think that that's kind of what Stilly and Petrov was saying. We need someone faster, more mobile. And if he has had injury problems, well, there we go. We need options in every position. The amount of injuries we've had this season, you could not write it. It wasn't a comparison on players, also it was a joke, hence the emojis. I didn't see your last comment. Tam's not worth 7 million. Tam isn't a goal scorer. And Morning All says, Piercy Docherty. It is an interesting one. I don't want to take. It was good to hear Stilly and Petrov say he's had a fantastic end to the season. Kells has been a big player in helping Celtic win the league, but at big teams, any actual goal to minute ratio is impressive. Wouldn't want to get rid of him. Trusty on the other hand was very hard to watch. See when you talk about goals to minute ratio, Adam Ida was away up there. Adam Ida scored 9 goals at Norwich in half a season coming off the bench. Bit part player. Wasn't getting a lot of game time. A lot of games didn't even get on. Just sitting on the bench. But when he came on, he scored goals. He came to Celtic, he continued that. When you look at the stats of Adam Ida in half a season down at Norwich, half a season at Celtic, you're just under 20 goals a season. When he came to Celtic, he scored 20 goals in a season. When can Kelechi Iheanacho score 20 goals a season? That's what we'll have to compare it with. And it's okay saying that, but he's done this and he's done that and he's done this. But statistically, he's never had a season where he scored 20 goals. And that would be concerning for anybody. You could... Surely there has to be someone else. If you look at the wage that he's on, he's bound to be on 20 odd grand a week. Minimum. He's bound to be on 25 grand minimum. More than likely more. If you take that money and you invest that into another striker, surely you're going to get someone younger, fitter, far mobile, and has a real eye for goal. Casper Ho. You've got to look at... Sometimes we've got to step back, and especially at this time of the season, and especially when we're going for the Cup this weekend. So, we can get very emotional and attached as fans, and we can think that, oh, he's been brilliant, keep him. And you can make those decisions on a sort of wing and a prayer sometimes. A little bit of emotion. Take a step back and think for the betterment of the club. And I think that that's why, and that's the way that Stan Petrov came to that conclusion. Callum Osmond, to me, is the future. Going by games he had before his injury. I said at the beginning of this, I said last night, was it last night? Yeah, it was last night I said, I think Callum Osmond going forward, next season will be a massive, massive one for Callum Osmond. We can get Callum Osmond's stats up on the screen as well. Let's get Callum Osmond on the screen. There we go, look at that. There's Callum Osmond. His stats. Well, look at him. Fulham under 21s. Fulham under 18s and then under 21s. 25 goals, young Callum Osmond. In the 23-24 season. 25 season. No goals for the under 21s. 23-24 season. He was prolific that season. and that's got him having 1 goal for Celtic. That's wrong, because he's got more than 1 goal for Celtic. We know that. That's strange that those statistics are wrong. But anyway, that's young Callum Osmond's stats. I think that Callum Osmond, I'm trying to see if there was another striker that we were linked with that we didn't get. It was if, it was this guy, wasn't it? That we were linked with in the previous window. Remember him? Whatever happened to him? Strasbourg he went to. There we go. He's not scored any goals. Says it all. What other strikers were we looking at? Bamba was another player that we were looking at. And there's Dyson Maeda and his stats. I mean, even Dyson's stats have been pretty consistent playing as a winger. And then the boy at Italy that we're looking at, the midfielder, he's now got a value of 15 million. Jesus, there's no chance Celtic are going to get him, are they? Not a chance. Anyway, that is me done and dusted for this morning. We'll get back to Kells. We'll run through some of the comments before we go in. We can't speculate on anything with this board. It'd be great to dream. I don't. I leave them to their games. Wonder what happened with the meeting last night. There's very little came out from Celtic media so far. As soon as Desmond is shown the money, Osmond will be punted. Well, I have suggested that Desmond will accept 30 million for Callum Osmond. Callum Osmond, in 2 years' time, will be the first £30 million player to be sold from Celtic. You should put the stats on the other side, Baz. Can't you see the comments for it? That's the way it is. It's just the way that it is. I don't know what you're watching on. You've got the comments on the screen. Anyway, must bounce back. Yep. Bamba, no really. Anyway, right, that's me done and dusted for this morning. Big shout out to Kevin, who was coming in from Western Australia. I think he was the furthest one away today. I shall see you this evening. Just a little double check of Celtic news to see if any... You'd think if they'd had the meeting last night, some of the Celtic fan media would have written some articles about the meeting that they had with Paul McStay and Willie Hockey, but there doesn't seem to be anything out yet. It's a bit strange, considering it was last night. I mean, did it go on that late into the night that interesting. Anyway, we'll see if anything comes out of that today. Have a fantastic day, Celtic fans, wherever you are, all around the world. There was one player I forgot. Don't go just yet, because there was a couple of young players, obviously young Donovan, who has been in the team, but there was another fantastic young player who's, I wonder what will happen to him now that he's back at Celtic. Has a bright future in front of him. Will he manage to get and break into the team next year? He would do if Martin O'Neill was here. Maybe that's what Martin's got planned. Maybe he's not leaving. On that note, have an absolutely fantastic day, Celtic fans, wherever you are, all around the world.